I'm Ken Zellin with McIntosh Lab. Let's get to know McIntosh's MX100 home theater processor and MI347 7-channel power amplifier. We'll start with the MX100. It's compact because we removed seldom used controls from the front panel and analog audio and analog video connections from the back, but we didn't remove any of the quality. It has many features that make it easy to install and get set up quickly and conveniently. The MX100 has 12 channels of Dolby Atmos and DTS:X processing for up to a 7.2.4 surround experience. During setup, the MX100 can be set to any of these sound modes when a given source is selected. If you select Dolby or DTS for a given input, that will be the go-to mode for that input whenever you select that source. Stereo will usually be used for audio-only sources. The left and right speakers will play along with the subwoofer. Multi-channel stereo will play stereo music from the front and surround left and right speaker pairs. The center speaker will not be used. It's great for room-filling sound during parties. Auto will detect and select DTS sound when it senses an incoming DTS signal. If it's not there, it'll look for Dolby Surround. And if it's not there, it'll upmix two-channel sources to all the configured speaker channels, all automatically. With its compact size and rack-mountable design, the MX100 will find homes where larger Macintosh processors just may not fit. The rack ears are quick and easy to install and come included in the box with the MX100. Dual subwoofer outputs are provided. Using balanced cables to subwoofers helps avoid hum problems. Balanced to unbalanced adapters and cables are available from many companies if you're using a subwoofer that only has unbalanced inputs. The MX100 has true differential balanced outputs for all channels. Balanced cables protect the system from noise pickup between the processor and amplifier. They provide up to 40 decibels of noise protection and ensure the user receives the greatest dynamic range possible. Since the subwoofer outputs are only available in balanced form, you may wish to order some female XLR to female RCA phono adapters to have on hand for pre-existing system upgrades that already have unbalanced subwoofer cables that may be hard to change out. The MX100 has 4 HDMI inputs. They're HDCP 2.2 18 gig. They support HDR10 and HLG and are 4K Ultra HD with 4:4:4 color spacing for the best picture. That's a mouthful. The EARC HDMI output adds flexibility, and EARC makes system operation easier by allowing your TV's remote to operate the volume of the MX100. In the future, when 8K video sources become available, they'll connect directly to your 8K capable TV, and the EARC connection will route the Dolby Atmos audio from the TV back to the MX100 for audio processing. The EARC sound from your connected TV will show up on the input scroll as HDMI TV. Inputs not connected can be deleted from the source list during setup. 4 digital inputs are included. 2 are optical, 2 are coax. And the relative volume setting for each input on the MX100 can be adjusted plus or minus 12 dB to prevent big volume changes as you scroll through sources. Use these digital inputs with outboard servers and disc players so the Macintosh quality DACs in the MX100 deliver the best sound quality possible from these sources. The 32-bit DACs in the MX100 help reduce distortion to a low 0.005%. Odyssey makes setup a snap. The setup mic is included with the MX100. It connects into this rear panel jack. The MX100 has Odyssey Multi-EQ XT32 room calibration. Sticking a calibration mic between sofa cushions and propping it up with a mayonnaise jar will not yield proper results. That's why a full-size mic stand comes with the MX100. It's important for proper Odyssey operation. Each individual input on the MX100 can be trimmed for bass and treble level, lip sync delay, speaker levels, and its listening mode. Setting up the MX100 with a laptop makes the job of the installer quicker and easier. IR remote plus front panel setup is also possible. The MX100 does not incorporate monitor displayed menus, though the volume level is shown on the screen of the connected video monitor. While we're on the subject of volume adjustment, the MX100 can be set for percentage volume or dB volume display. You can set a volume limit that prevents accidental full-up volume. And the MX100 also has dynamic volume, which can reduce the volume fluctuations common in TV watching. It can be set to any of 3 different strengths. When setting up the MX100, simply connect your network to the jack on the MX100, and then use the left knob to call up the IP address your router has assigned. Type that into your laptop address bar and the setup menu will appear on your laptop. The IR remote that comes with the MX100 is simple and slim. Seldom used functions are selected in trim menus to keep the number of buttons down to a minimum. The remote will also operate McIntosh source components like disc players when connected to the processor through data cables. Installers can save files with input names and parameters on their PC and download these files into the processor on installation day. That makes for a more efficient setup. The rear panel RS-232 port helps automate systems. That RS-232 port can be found here along with an IR input, data output, and dual trigger jacks for system control. Discrete IR codes are available and Control 4 certification is in progress. Now let's dive into the MI347 7-channel Power Amplifier. It too has lots of features. It has 7 channels of high power amplification in a very compact and relatively light chassis. It'll fit in locations where a traditional McIntosh multi-channel amplifier simply won't fit. When used with 8-ohm speakers, the MI347 outputs 125 watts into each of the 4 surround channels and 250 watts per channel into the left and right front and center channels. And unlike many home theater amps, this is full 20 to 20,000 Hz sound spectrum power. But most of today's speakers are either 4 ohms or drop to 4 ohms or even less at bass frequencies. Into 4 ohms, the MI347 outputs 200 watts into each of the 4 surround channels and 300 per channel into the left and right, front, and center channels. Again, this is full 20 to 20 kHz sound spectrum power, but it gets even better. On musical peaks, the MI347 puts out drastically more power, especially into 4 ohms. That's because we built in an overspecified power supply. Power jumps to 350 watts into each surround channel and over 600 watts from each of the 3 front channels. It would be hard to imagine running out of power with this amp in a typical installation. Like the MX100, rack ears come with the amp. They can be quickly installed. It's the Class D circuitry that allows this powerhouse amp to be so compact. Now, Class D amps do have a reputation for bad sound under one condition: when overdriven into a hard clip. That's why McIntosh designed a digital version of the famous patented McIntosh PowerGuard circuit so this amp won't hard clip. Problem solved. The distortion levels on the MI347 are very low. The lack of added high-frequency distortion harmonics accounts for the smoothness you'll instantly recognize as McIntosh sound. Distortion is below 0.025% across the entire sound spectrum at full power. How does this compare with high-end home theater receivers? In most cases, home theater receivers don't even specify distortion at full power at all frequencies. McIntosh's patented Sentry monitor protects the amp from damage due to inadvertent shorts in speaker lines. It works instantly, and it's electronic. There are no fuses to replace. Both balanced and unbalanced inputs are available. Use the balanced inputs when you can. They prevent noise pickup through the processor to amp cables. And remember, the MX100 processor only has balanced outputs. The MI347 has heavy-duty, high-current, solid metal, gold-plated speaker terminals. They'll accept bare wire, banana plugs where their use is permitted, and spade lugs. They help ensure full power delivery. On the front panel, there are 3 color status lights for each channel. Green means normal operation. Amber indicates that PowerGuard has just prevented clipping. And red indicates a problem such as inadequate ventilation. An auto-off feature shuts the amp down after 30 minutes of idling. If a power control cable is connected from the processor, the amp will automatically power on and off with the system, and the auto-off feature is overwritten. Be sure to use a 3-conductor data cable. McIntosh has them available in several lengths. McIntosh quality home theater processing, premium quality DACs, and massive dynamic power. This pairing represents amazing value and is the perfect exit from the home theater receiver compromise. Here are some photos to look at.